All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I have Dr. I guess it's Tirado, or
Exactly.
you were going by Dr. T CritThink, which is what I
Yeah,
used for
that's right.
the because that's your handle on Twitter. By the way, folks, his Twitter link is linked below if you want to follow him on Twitter. I kind of I think you popped up in my mentions or something somewhere, and I like some of the stuff you were posting.
Yeah,
So I followed you, then you followed me, then I sent you the message saying,
yeah,
I like your posting. I think you should come on the show and share your deconversion
yep.
story of whatever form you had. And then you told me you'd been through 4 different belief systems. I was like, what? Holy cow, man.
Yeah, I think that's what I got when I got you, right? When I told you that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So if it's all right with you, can you kind of take us on, like, tell us where you started in, like what belief system you started in and how that led to the next one, which led to the next one, and ultimately to your dropping of all the belief systems for what we consider to be, I guess, an atheistic point of view or whatever, like no gods and all that stuff.
hmm Basically, I was raised Catholic because I was born in Spain.
Okay.
But simultaneously, after a while, uh, I didn't know it that I actually was from another religion too. But
Oh,
let me tell you the story.
sure.
So I was raised a Catholic. I went to a Catholic school. Uh, the priests, they were very anti-sex. And I was actually born during the last years of the Francoist dictatorship in Spain. I remember a little bit of that from my childhood. And because I went to a very conservative Catholic school, I was basically raised with the same morality as the Franco regime, which is anti-sex, anti-communist, and basically anti-progressive in general.
Right. Right. Right.
At this, at this at the time, it wasn't so anti-democratic, but definitely against the left and etc. So I was basically raised like a common Catholic boy, but I think I was like 7 or 8 when I realized that some of the things that we were doing in my family weren't actually Catholic. And then I realized that my parents uh, put me in a Catholic school, but they, at least my father, was a spiritist. So whenever
Was a
we
what?
went to Puerto Rico,
Your father? Your
spiritism, like
spiritist?
belief in spirit. Yes,
Oh, I see.
spiritism.
Okay. 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 I
Like
got it.
like like for example, the Allan Kardec spiritism. That Allan Kardec was a doctor in the 19th century who supposedly was investigating the uh, phenomena of moving tables. You know what that is, right? Like
Yep.
spirits were entering to people and then the table began moving and all that stuff. So he basically created a whole religion based on that. It
Wow.
was a scientific religion because the guy
Of
actually
course.
was using the scientific method to analyze those phenomena. Look, as crazy as that sounds, it eventually expanded out of Europe and came to the Americas, where, for example, in Brazil, right now, it's the biggest church of Spiritism in the world. But
Right.
in my case, it was the tiny island of Puerto Rico where my father came from. So whenever when we were children, went to visit my grandparents in Puerto Rico, actually, what we practiced was a spiritism, but I didn't know it. So I was a little bit confused at the beginning. It's not,
So did the
yeah.
did
No, ask me.
do we know how those tables were actually moving, or?
Yes, we do. If you know, for example, the history of this great illusionist, American illusionist, Harry Houdini. Remember him?
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
not remember because he
I
was
was
dead
yeah, I
before we
was
were born.
was dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
the great Houdini was one of the persons who actually uh, specialized in revealing the hoax behind those tables. And his whole life was dedicated to that. So, yeah, it's basically completely bogus. There is nothing there.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Well, so
There's
continuing. Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, I often share an article by the physicist Sean Carroll, how he talks about there can't possibly be an afterlife because it literally breaks the laws of physics. So, and they don't like it when I share that. It's, oh, come on. It's like, well, I'm sorry, but you
At least
gotta
not from a materialistic point of view, that would be impossible.
right,
But
exactly.
well, at the
All
time, I
right.
didn't even know the myth. It was
Yeah.
like spirit. Yes, of course. My grandmother was a medium, therefore she was talking. I mean, the spirits were talking through her voice.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Right.
but for us, for kids, it was like a normal, boring show, if I tell you the truth, because we were just waiting for them to finish so we could play. But well, that was around 8, 9 that I realized that actually those weren't belief of the Catholic Church. So I realized that I have in fact two religions at the same time.
Right.
But then the story doesn't end there because we went to a third religion simultaneously. Okay,
Oh,
get this. We were children. We were in the Catholic school, completely Catholic, Franco style, but at the same time, Caribbean spiritists. And then suddenly, my parents decided that they wanted to join I'm sorry, the Church of the Later Day Saints, better known as Mormonism.
oh, Mormons. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mormons had just came to Spain because Spain was now a democratic country and they were opening the doors to everyone. But the elders, the Mormon elders, were probably the first one. They were so quick that I don't even think that the Jehovah's Witnesses came first. Well, these guys convinced my dad because they were the elders. You know how Mormons work, right? They go
Yep.
to your house, knock on the door. They are all with the same uniform, which is
Yep.
quite funny. It's almost like an office uniform, but with the name tag Elder, whatever. Elder Allright was the one who converted my family. He was an American.
Oh
And
boy.
yeah, of course. I mean, all of most, I think that probably 99.9% of all Mormon elders are the ones who go to another country to convert people. They are from Utah, United States, and most of them are white. I just once met one, one who wasn't white, but he was a very, very white Latino. So, third religion in the count. Every Sunday, we went to the Catholic church, the Catholic mass, but on Saturdays, we went to the Mormon church. And of course, during the the holidays, we
How?
went to Puerto Rico to practice spiritism.
Oh, jeez.
I know, it's
How,
fucking crazy, man.
that's like you swallowing up all the religions that you possibly can. But I kind of
All of
want to
it.
know, how did the like, if you're going to Catholic church and then you're going to Mormon church, how did they feel about you visiting each other's church? Like, was there any talk about that, or?
Okay, that's a tricky question, but let me try to answer it. If it is for the priests, they weren't very happy at all. But they
I
made
kind of
an
figured.
exception because my father was from the colonies, from the Americas, especially the notion of he being a Protestant. It was like something that they were expecting. They didn't
Hmm.
know it was Mormonism. They thought it was a kind of Protestant church because my
Oh
father
wow.
came from an American. Well, of course, it should be practicing any kind of Protestant uh, religious services, but not Catholic. So they were more or less okay. But in the case of the Mormons, I really don't know, man. I don't know because I think that they were expecting people to just join. They weren't. They were beginning. So they knew that most of the population in Spain were Catholics. So they were basically expecting it, and they didn't say much because that was a process. Remember that in the church, you don't get baptized when you're born, you get baptized afterward. Therefore, they were expecting for them to change in time for the baptism and go full Mormon. That's what I think.
My final Mormon form.
But I haven't. I haven't finished. That wasn't the last religion.
Oh no, I realize that there's still at least one more, right? So.
Well, no, it's the last one. It's probably the worst of all of them. When I was 16, it was a very difficult time for in my life because my fathers and my parents decided to move to Puerto Rico, and I lost everything, all my friends, all my contacts, everything. I began a life again. Now, this is when.
Wow.
Okay, let me continue. In Puerto Rico, people are incredibly religious. Incredibly. It was difficult to even identify yourself as an atheist. Many times when I did it, I got into heated conversations because just people just couldn't understand how can you be an atheist, you know?
Yeah.
So
I
this
faced that
chat,
myself.
the name of this chat, could you please remind the listeners again? What is the name? Deconversion stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. This is my process of deconversion. When I came to Puerto Rico,
Sorry.
sorry, my Catholic upbringing.
I live in corn country, and they're cleaning all the fields, so I've been sneezing. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, don't worry, well, where was I? Puerto Rico. Well, deeply religious people, but I began to question my everything before because I came out of Spain completely anti-Catholic, but I was in the process of understanding other religions, and it was the first time, for example, that I began well attending. My God, the evangelical churches, but it wasn't because I believed. It was because I was after a girl, was a very hot girl, but she was from that religion. So I decided, okay.
That's not uncommon. We hear that quite often.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're in good company.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
And if you think Catholicism is bad, just wait to enter one of those churches. Those guys are crazy. They were for the first time in my life, I had the experience of people just screaming at you because God said this. What the fuck is this? I have because Spiritism actually is a very quiet religion. They don't talk. Just when the time comes, the spirits will do. But most of it is just like in silence. And in the Catholic Church, besides the chorus and the priest, nobody else is talking. But in this case, it was like I don't know, the experience of imagine just for the first time entering a religious discotheque. That's what I thought because it was just boom, 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 but with messages that were like stupid, crazy, or simply I don't know what the hell he's saying, you know. Oh, and that's not my fault because I didn't join. I just attended the services. So, but I began questioning everything. That like I was almost an atheist, but I used to call myself a free thinker first. Then
Right.
I think all of us as atheists have had a period of agnosticism, right? In which we weren't quite sure. I don't know. In my case, it was when I was 15. But then came the last and worst of all of them. I was, I had the bad luck of walking into Scientology.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
Dianetics.
King Daddy religion of wackiness.
Oh, yes. That religion in wackiness, it tops them all. I mean, Mormonism is probably quite a
Oh,
good
I
second,
know.
right?
Magic underwear and golden plates and words from a hat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
they believe that the Indians were basically turned dark and the blacks too because uh, God was mad with people and with what they were doing in America because all the story of the Book of Mormon, and then he turned them to a darker color. So it's basically a stupid, created racist religion from the 19th century, created by a I don't know, a prankster or definitely a con man.
Yes.
So, and that's stupid. But now wait, when you enter Scientology, Scientology is another league completely. And this is, I think, important because usually I have seen in many discussions, atheism discussions, in which the very same atheists who are my friends actually make a huge confusion between religion and God. It's not the same. If you analyze my religions before, I have at least two of them who had a God. The third, Spiritism, is like so more or less. But in the case of Scientology, there is no God. There is no God. I mean, Hobart would probably perform the role of a prophet, but there is no God. So it is a religion without a God, but it is as bad or even worse than the others.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, I was 15 and I entered this thing. Dianetics, it was called. I thought it was a kind of new psychology science. Remember, I was an agnostic at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was just joining something very advanced, capable of changing the lives of everyone in the planet, etc., etc. I actually was one of the few who had read the whole book of Dianetics. That was the origin of Scientology.
Yeah, I flipped through it
And
too
they
back in
were,
the day when it first came out.
yeah, well, it was 1950, the original one. But then they continue
Yeah, later on,
reprinting it and
like in the
reprinting it.
70s, it got an update or something, and it got reprinted.
Well,
And
in the
it
70s,
was very
basically,
popular.
Harvard created Scientology. He was a super con man, but he had his periods. At the beginning, when he was developing Dianetics, he was talking about psychology and self-help. When the psychological and psychiatrist community found his job completely bogus, then he was so mad against them that he actually created a new thing, a religion. It was in part not to pay taxes, and it was in part just to, I don't know, get a vengeance against the medical community. And that's how Scientology came to be. But in Puerto Rico at the time, where I was living, they were advertising it as Dianetics, a sign.
Right,
Anyway,
right.
little by you begin there, little by little. It's not like brainwashed in a second. It's not like the Holy Spirit entered me. No, nothing like that. It's very, very paced. Okay, it's so paced that you actually don't notice when you are into it. It's like okay. Do you know about supermassive black holes? Those
Yes.
huge things. Yeah. Do you know about the event horizon?
Yep.
It's the part of the black hole where no information can go outside.
Well, I've
right?
never been to one, but I know what they are. Yes.
No, I mean that according to
than
what they say, the supermassive black holes, when you enter, it's so big that you don't notice that you have entered the event horizon.
Right.
The same
Right.
happens with the shape of you not notice it. You go so little by little that when you are completely into it, you don't realize it. And that's what happened to me.
It's too late.
Probably everyone else. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I became very good at what they practice. So they decided that I was an excellent candidate for the Sea organization, and I became a member of the Sea Org. So,
Oh,
my God, they wanted me to take my family. And this is traumatic, okay, because this is what really broke everything. I gotta contain my bless you. Sorry, it's so unconscious.
oh yeah. I still blurt that out once in a while too, but most of the time I just say Gesundheit or
Gesundheit. Está muy bien.
Hey, we're taking it back.
Well,
the reason they say bless you
what
is because at one time they thought that your spirit would fly out of your nose or something when you
Yeah, I know.
sneeze.
And in
Which is
Spain they
fucking
say
ridiculous.
Jesus. Oh well, this is
Yeah.
even better. They say Jesus is Jesus. It's just for the devil not to enter again. So you are going
Yeah.
to say Jesus. Oh, sorry. Well,
Jesus.
Jesus. That's right. Well, in my case,
tell Jesus to chill with the pollen. Thank you, Theo.
Tell him to chill with the pollen. Poor
Yeah,
Mikey.
knock it off.
He's getting the sneezes.
This is this is the bad season for me.
Well, we literally went from winter to something like it's been under, well, in Celsius, it's been under 20 here for forever.
Ooh, that's
and
cold.
we finally we went from like 14 degrees, 15 degrees, and like somebody went, you know what, I'm done with winter. Went, and now we're in like 23, 24, 25 degrees Celsius here now, which is warm. It's nice and sunny outside.
Where are you exactly? I
happened
haven't
overnight.
asked you. Where are you? Are you in California?
Oh, no. Well, we are known as Hollywood North, but I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, wow. That's
Canada,
cold.
yeah.
No,
that's not now. It ain't.
No,
it's nice and warm.
Yeah. Yes.
I have a. Let me see. What'd you say? 20 to 20. All right, let me see.
It's 24 degrees right now, which is like 70 something, I think.
Temperature. Celsius 24. 75 degrees is 24.
There you go. So that's what we have here now.
So I'm in the DMC. I mean the DMV. That's the part. Virginia, Washington, DC. The climate is like better right now.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So should I continue?
Everything that grows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I was in Dianetics whole year. That was the second year, but I wasn't, because I probably began at 14 or 15. So that was when they proposed, because they wanted me to, join the Sea Org in the United States. I think it was in Clearwater, but I'm not quite sure if they wanted me for the boats. They have a boat that Ronald Hubbard created a fleet of boats. So I don't know if they want me to go there or the other one, but in any case, yeah. The thing is that they wanted not just me to go, but my family, because they realized that I was a minor, so I couldn't consent to go there. I needed my parents' permission. So they basically tried to get my mother and my brothers to join the religion, for her to consent and to go to wherever they want us to go, which would have been, if you have seen documentaries about Scientology, that's the part where they literally kidnap you and you do not come back, and you cannot have access with your family if they are not in the religion. Actually, for us kids, I would never have seen my mother or my brothers more than once a year. So, but those are things that I know now. I didn't at the time. Nobody knew what was going on with this guy. So they tried to convince my mother, which they easily managed to do because my mother is incredibly religious. I mean, I think she has a gene for religion because she likes literally every religion in the world. Uh, Not anymore, but at the time, yes, she did. So my little brothers, they went with my mother, and my brother, who also was convinced in just one day,
Oh, we lost him.
was more intelligent than I was. But in just one day, they got him. Are you there, Mikey?
Yeah,
No.
we're
Can
we're here, but
can you repeat
you
it?
kind of
You
froze on
us.
us. Yeah,
Repeat
we
what?
got to
Mike?
the part about your brother in one day. What happened in the
Yeah,
one day?
well, do you know those billion-year contracts? Have you
No,
ever
I'm
heard
not
about
familiar.
them? They make you sign. If you join the Sea organization, which is like the priesthood of Scientology, they
Mhm.
make you sign a contract that states that you are going to be part of the Sea organization for a period no less than 2 billion years. That's
What is
part
the
of it.
point of that?
Because for the religion that this asshole Hubbard created, we are titans, and titans are spiritual beings who have no material part. Therefore, they are eternal. So, for an
Oh,
eternal guy to sign up a contract of just 2 billion years is nothing because
yeah.
you have whole eternity. Well, the thing
What's
is that,
2 billion years among friends?
yeah, exactly. So, well, they convinced my brother, who had never been part of Scientology, Dianetics at the time, uh, to join and sign that contract in just one day. Less than one day. It was half a day, actually. And I was in shock because it took me a long time for me to even think that what they were saying was true, you know? So, what? Like a whole year or more, and then my brother just one day. And my brother is an architect. He's more intelligent than I am, but not in the critical aspect, probably.
Probably, yeah, you
So,
might not be quite the critical thinker that you are. So
Well,
yeah,
don't they kind of couch all their woo in like pseudoscience? So maybe it
yes,
sounded
it is.
like the more empirical religion that has actual numbers and facts, and maybe that appealed to him as an architect.
facts.
Yeah. 30% of statistics are just made up on the spot.
Well, you fooled us.
So
So,
you didn't get what you're saying is you didn't really get sucked into the Scientology religion.
well. No, I did. I did completely.
Oh, did you?
What I'm
Okay,
telling
okay.
what I'm telling you is that it took me much more, a whole year
Yeah.
or more, to get to the point that my brother just crossed in an hour, 2 hours. It was incredible. So it's not so incredibly or not, but those people are very skilled in catching people. They are very skilled. One of the best, probably. But well, the thing is that they almost got all of us, and I say almost because oh my, there is no God, but if there is, please, thank you, whatever you are, universe, whatever. My whole family was going to become, they were going to become slaves for the rest of their life.
Wow.
So imagine that, just being able to avoid slavery, literally, literally. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, and if you watch the
Yeah.
documentaries and the testimonies of people who have been living under those conditions, it's basically slavery.
Hmm.
Well,
I've had a couple
what
of
happened was,
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry.
Dr. Carl. I've had a couple of ex-Scientologists on the show, and they went into a little about that. So
Yeah. Well, so luckily, uh, it didn't happen, and it didn't happen because my father wasn't living with us. He was finishing his studies in medicine in Spain. So when they realized that they couldn't do it without my father's signature, then they contacted my father. So they called
Mhm.
Spain and they tried to convince my father of all of these things just for him to sign the contract, allow us to go. My father didn't even know what the hell they were talking about. So he went to look for the only center in Barcelona of Dianetics at the time. It was closed that day, and that saved all of us because he went looking for that particular center, but because it was closed, a person who saw him asked him, "Sir, what are you looking for? Are you looking for these guys of Dianetics?" He says, "Yes, yes, of course. I have a problem because blah, blah." He told the whole story, and that person was the president of the. They have created an association of parents against Scientology,
Wow.
and, and that saved all of us because that person took it to their center. He talked with other parents with similar stories. He read a lot of things, and then he realized that it was a sect. He
Yeah.
cut these guys in half because they couldn't do anything. My father wouldn't sign. We had to stay. And I had time because they said to me, well, we couldn't. Hello, are you there? Oh,
Say again.
you
I'm
couldn't
sorry, I
couldn't
had
what?
some technical problem. Give me,
Yeah,
give me
probably.
just a second. Can you see me? You can see
Yeah.
me? Can you? Okay, now.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, where was I? Sorry.
Well, he couldn't. Your father couldn't, and then you kind of lost. We lost you.
Oh, yes. My father couldn't believe that we were actually in a sect, but no, the people from Scientology, they could not take us without that consent. So basically, what they told me was, don't worry, we are going to wait for you to get to 16, and then you can join us by your own consent, or 18. I don't remember which one was the
Yeah.
age, the
Probably
legal age
18.
for that. 18.
It's
Yeah,
probably 18 seems to be the legal age for
that's right.
lots of different things, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
you can get a driver's
So, well,
license at 16, but
I was about to say it depends on the state, depends on the year.
yeah.
Some
well,
places
it
are pretty
depends on the
loose.
country.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
I don't know if Puerto Rico was 16 or it was 18. Anyway, what I can tell you is that during that time, I continued going to the center, the Scientology center, but
Mhm.
little by little, I began to question everything of what was going on with those guys. I It took me a long time because I mean the same way that I was convinced that they they were the truth. It took me the same time to little by little erase or change those ways of thinking. And it has been probably the most traumatic experience in my life because
Mm.
the process of deconversion in cases of cults, like for example, Scientology, it's not mere deconversion, it's reprogramming. It's much more
Yes.
worse.
Yeah.
They have to wash your brain. They wash.
Yeah. It is a literal deprogramming, like you said. So, because you were programmed with all that stuff ahead of time. You've frozen up on us again.
Mm-hmm.
Try If you can still hear us, try hitting the F5 and it'll reboot you. You'll have to jump back in, but it seems to work.
Hello.
There we go.
Ah,
There we go.
Oh boy.
I don't know what's going on.
Probably just internet.
Internet's upset with us.
Well, let's see if it's last. Yes. During that time, I was in the process of deprogramming myself, and it's a long story. But what I can tell you is that the process is traumatic because you literally, it's like literally watching the sky and suddenly seeing all the sky coming down. I mean, brick by brick. That's the equivalent. You feel that your whole world, even the earth under your feet, is not real. Everything
Yeah.
is changing.
Yeah.
After that experience, which took me a long time, as I'm telling you, oh my God, I became completely, absolutely atheist. So well, it's basically that's the story. There is more, but I don't think we have time to take to talk about my reconversion to Christianism, and then afterwards, fuck you, and that's it.
Well, we still have about another 20 minutes or so. So, are you telling me now that you got out of Scientology and you
Yes,
decided to go jump back into Christianity for a little while?
yeah. Let me explain it to you. It
Sure.
was all years, a lot of years after that. Still in Puerto Rico, I I began interested in uh, I don't know, looking for books about meaning. I
Hmm.
I came to this guy, Viktor Frankl. Viktor
I'm
Frankl.
familiar. I'm
He
familiar with him.
was he's a psychiatrist from the 19th century who
Okay.
basically created the third school of psychoanalysis. The first
Oh,
one was
okay.
Freud, the second one was Jung, and the third one was this person, Viktor Frankl. Um, his book is actually very good, and it's not for converting anyone. It's how to look for meaning in your own life, and it's called Man Search for Meaning. Um, well, hello.
Yep, we can still
Yeah,
hear you.
can you see
You
me?
didn't go anywhere. You're good. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's my computer actually. It's opening. It's open pop-ups, and I don't know why. It's perhaps has to do with this system. I have no idea. And then suddenly I cannot see you. That's why. I'm sorry. So you
No
you
problem.
never
We're
stop seeing,
here.
right?
Yep,
Okay.
we certainly can. We can see you, hear you.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
ba-
We'll let you know if we suddenly lose you or something.
So basically, what I did was I was looking for uh, to put it into use that psychology philosophy, which basically says that it's good for you to first to have a meaning, but a meta meaning. And the meta meaning, in the case of Viktor Frankl, was basically religious.
Hmm.
Theory, at the time, because I was still being bombarded with religious propaganda and etc., I decided
At
that
that
I
time,
could
no doubt.
become a kind of enlightened Christian. One of those cases in which you try to deal with the complexities of theology and all that stuff, but in reality, what you are doing is just basically trying to look for God as a kind of goal, meaning that could be part of the way in which you understand reality. So
Sure.
that was like that period was like my agnostic enlightened Christian, and I thought that there were very good things in religion if you could use them well. That's basically
Sure.
eventually, but eventually I realized that the people I attracted didn't think like me. The people that I attracted, they literally took all the story literal, like
Yep.
the Bible literally. And that's
Yep.
the problem, that you don't realize that, I mean, you can connect with the intentions of those persons because they want to be better people. I mean, many of my students, they basically read the Bible with me, but when I pointed out, for example, well, this is horrible, this is a genocide, okay? And they were like answering it, but perhaps he didn't understood the meaning, or perhaps at the time was different, or perhaps
Yeah.
God knew why he should kill all women and all children and even the dogs at that place.
Or
What?
the cattle, or yeah.
Yeah. And don't even left a virgin because those are the ones you're going to take. I was like, what the hell? This is horrible. But no, they
Oh, yeah.
couldn't see it. They couldn't see it. And little by little, I began realizing that this wasn't working. Because in reality, what I was defending was an idealized version of Christianity. But
Right.
it's not the way in which 90% of the population sees the religion.
Right.
So finally, my last conversion completely came with the published book of Richard Dawkins. When I read The God Delusion, I thought of all my, that book destroyed all my illusions and delusions in religion because I finally understand that, hey, I've always thought, I have always thought like that. I mean, I have studied philosophy. I know all the demonstrations, the demonstrations of the existence of God, and uh,
Weak.
they are all
Weak.
bad. Not only weak, they are wrong and
Yeah.
demonstrably so.
Yes.
And it's like, why was I even trying to believe? I mean, was it to fit in? Was it to, I don't know, try to look on the bright side of life? No, there is
Yeah.
no bright side of life. There is no bright side of the genocide, rape, whatever it's in the Bible. And you don't need to be an agnostic because the part that I probably like most about the book of Richard Dawkins was when he was talking about the difference between agnosticism and atheism.
Hmm.
Believe it or not, but in reality, most intellectuals I have met in my life, all of my professors, if they were agnostics, the reasoning was faulty because they thought that because we cannot prove the existence, but we cannot disprove its existence, therefore we have to take the middle ground. But that's wrong because we don't do that. We don't do that in our everyday life. Nobody calls himself an atheist or I don't know, put in
Leprechaunist.
the
I'm a,
exactly.
I'm an A murderer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not exactly the same, but yeah.
The
The
murderers
thing
AKA.
is
exist.
that what you have to add afterwards is something that nobody would believe, but you cannot disprove it, and that's stupid because we don't do
Disprove
that
memory.
for nothing. So I just I did my last I took my last step to becoming full atheist because it makes sense. It's like I have always, I mean, thought that these things weren't true. I don't know what I was thinking, but in reality, now that I see things clearly, what I need is evidence to believe, and that's it. So the only thing I have to do is recognize that that's not the usual form of the term. Atheist does not mean to disprove the existence of God. No, it just means that the people who believe in those gods or religions haven't proved their existence, and that's it. You just need to go. Atheism. Atheism is not an extreme. Atheism is simply Aristotle would say the middle ground, probably the translation, the right middle, the because it's not extreme at all. The only thing you are doing is not accepting anything that is not proven, looking at the facts, using those critical thinking skills, not positing anything else above experience. That's it. A scientist does that. A philosopher does that. Any doctor does that. Even a good lawyer should do that. But for some reason, we are considered like, oh, atheists, extremes. No, we are not from any extreme. You probably are if you believe in those things.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure lots of lawyers, instead of like filing motions and filing appearances, they just pray about it and then it happens because you can just pray to get things done. What's that? I have surgery in the morning because I'm a doctor. Joke's on you. I'm going to pray that it just goes away so I can sleep in. Like, have doctors considered prayer as opposed to surgery?
Well, you can't say all of them haven't, but
I'm just saying that to just remove the issue completely, and then they could just like stay home, like just like you could like pray for a snow day when you're a little kid. Just pray that the cancer is removed.
And then, how many doctors have walked into the emergency room or the surgery room with a bucket of Jesus's blood so that they could just
oh god
and be cured of all of it, right?
Oh no, we must dip him in the blood. He must be dipped in the blood. No, that's an open wound, sir. No. What blood type is that?
Well, he'd be O negative. Come on.
Oh yeah, the universal giver.
Yeah. Clearly. But
But
I've had some of the drink of Jesus' blood, and it didn't taste like negative to me. It's so negative.
Almost got me, you son of a gun. Almost got me.
Well, I haven't told you, but I'm actually married to a believer, and we get along very well, especially in those topics, believe it or not, because she's very open. So no problem at all. I have usually problems with people. Yeah.
So what you're saying is currently you're married to a believer, but if she's open, that may not last long.
Why?
No, she might. If you have these discussions with her, some of your logic and reason might start to sink in, and she might actually start to have doubts.
I don't know,
heard of that
but
happening before.
What I think is that the way in which she believes it's very different from the mainstream. The way in which she believes, it's more like moved to the only thing that we could probably call good in a religion, one of two things. It's probably, for example, meditation or mysticism. Mysticism is what basically is the equivalence of meditation in Christianity and Islam, even Judaism. Every religion has it. And the interesting thing is that those are not the most dogmatic people at all. Those are usually the more enlightened ones, the ones who actually can have conversations between people from another religion and get along very well. And no, there is even scientific evidence about the process of meditation, neurologically, neuroscientifically speaking. There is such a place, there is such a thing. I remember one book that talked about the unitary absolute being, which is not something like has a reality necessary outside of the mind, but it's the state in which meditators from different religions actually get, and you can prove it neurologically, it's a different state. That thing are outside of their body. It doesn't mean that they are connecting with a metaphysical reality. What it means is simply that they weren't lying when they were telling you that they were experiencing those kinds of things. They are completely different from, for example, other kinds of experiences. Okay, it's not like people who imagine other people outside their minds. That's different. I cannot enter into that discussion. That could be another interesting chat, but that book basically reflects the way in which she sees religion. She sees religion from the mystical point of view. Mystic in that sense, meditation and accessing a higher level of, I don't know, consciousness, how you want to call it.
Well, that would require. See, I have issues with that because that would require consciousness to be something other than what it is. So something requires a mind.
Mhm.
Fair, but something requires a mind
Oh, here
in
we
order
go.
to have consciousness.
Yeah.
Call
So
him homeboy.
what's going on, Mikey? Have you had this discussion before with Neil?
I don't know. We should call. What's his? I don't even remember his name. He had me so confused.
Oh yeah, no, there's another guy who's far more extreme than what you're talking about, Dr.
Oh man, you should have seen
Okay.
it. It was a delight. I was thoroughly perplexed.
Far more extreme. Yeah.
It was puzzling, to say the least.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Well, actually, it's definitely not like that because the way I see this is more similar to probably one of the four horses of the apocalypse. It was at the time. Do you remember those
Hey,
guys?
that's me.
Well, actually, it was Richard Dawkins, the late, what was the name of this British guy? Hitchens, Christopher Hitchens,
Yeah.
Daniel Dennett, the philosopher of mind, and the fourth horse of the apocalypse was, hang on, this guy.
Sam Harris.
Sam Harris. That's the guy. More like a little bit like Sam Harris, but without the hallucinogens and all the stuff that he uses and the drugs. It's just like simply meditation. That's it.
Yeah, I saw that discussion between the four of those guys. It was an interesting discussion. It's unfortunate that, Mr. Hitchens has passed on, so he's missed. But Dawkins and both Dawkins and Harris,
or in hell,
have cut or in hell, yeah, have kind of gone off the rails a little bit in recent years, in my opinion. Anyways, I still find value in their previous work. But nowadays they're kind of like
par for the course.
Yeah.
They all do it. Just give them time. They'll all do it. All of your heroes will let you down. Just keep watching them long enough.
I've never considered them heroes.
Yeah, well, actually, Hitchens was actually quite extreme in his political views, and he was in favor of the Iraq invasion. Don't forget that. Mm-hmm. And in the case of Richard Dawkins, he has had some ways of thinking that are quite a little bit shocking. And even Sam Harris is not innocent. Sam Harris has said many things with which I completely.
Oh, me too. But there's still value in some of their work, right? That we can at least take that, separate it from the fucking idiots that they've become, it seems. Dennett, I've seen Dennett. Dennett has been.
I don't have
been
to
fine.
About him.
Yeah. No, he's got.
I mean, the guy continues doing what he does, and he doesn't have a twisted personality or ever. I don't know. He's a normal guy.
Yeah, I've never considered. I don't have heroes. I think the only person I ever considered to be a hero to me was the captain of the Vancouver Canucks back in the 90s, which was Trevor Linden. He was my hero. He's a Canuck. He was captain of the Vancouver Canucks.
A hockey team.
Hockey team. And but these are people that you have respect for. So, and that respect level has dropped considerably on multiple people that I once had a higher level of respect for, simply because of some of their views on some of the topics of the day. And I think that they're wrong in their position. And I think that I don't think they deserve the same amount of respect that I once had for them. There are parts of their work that I still have some respect for, obviously, because it's, it is what it is.
I mean, they were
I
trailblazers.
never lost. Yeah, I've never lost an ounce of respect for Daniel Dennett because he's always been on the more progressive side, regardless of what the others have gone to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was talking basically about at the time, those guys did a huge favor to atheism in the world because they were the ones who opened the possibility of being an atheist and being normal, accepted
Yeah,
in society,
sure.
even sometimes praised because it didn't used to happen. Even in TV, you can say you were an atheist without the reporter asking you questions as if you were a Martian. And
Right.
nowadays,
Do
it's
you breathe
normal.
air?
Yeah, it was like, I
Sorry, what do you
remember
got
one
against Martians?
nothing. Actually, I
son of a
love
gun.
War of the World.
You son of a gun. You almost got me again.
And that's some decent whiskey too you got going there.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff.
So, basically, that's my story.
That's it's amazing, man. All the things that you went through and being into these belief systems and then finding your way free from all of that was probably not an easy thing to do. So kudos to you, Dr. Tirado, for breaking free of these, because I consider most religions to be somewhat harmful, and some of them very harmful. So breaking free from beliefs that could lead you to cause harm or be harmed, I think that's fantastic that you did that. And I want to thank you so much for coming and joining Mikey and me today to share your story with us. I think it was fantastic.
I would love to share more stories with you. You seem like very intelligent guys, and I would like to continue talking next time.
Fooled another one.
Well, that's good. Fool me, please.
Foiled another one.
Well, Dr. Carlos, we do an after party. So,
good.
So we take a break between the two shows. So I'll send you another link, and you can jump in and you can share some more story stuff if you'd like with
that's good.
myself and Mikey.
Is it going to be public too, or just between us?
Yep. No, it's going to be live. We go live. Everything's live, man.
I think it. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's good. I'll wait for it.
You'll meet some more people, and we'll just talk about it. We'll talk about some more experiences that you had, some more parts of your story.
Dale, Dale, Infidel, he told me that he couldn't participate today, but he was going to watch it afterwards. So I hope that he's in the happy hour.
He told me, because I bugged him, said, you're going to come to the after party. You're like, I got dinner party thing. I'm like, all right, at least pop in the chat. Pop in the chat in the after party and say hi or something. And he said he'd do it. So Infidel.
Okay, but he better do it because I have never met him visually. I have just talked to him, and that story is pretty good.
Oh, he's got to come out now. Screw your dinner plans. Get in the party.
Yeah, man. I'm the one who named you Infidel. I put your name.
He was saying that you had a big part of that.
I created you.
I created you.
Neil, speaking of dinner, I'm about to go eat my Portillo's.
That's damn you, son.
It's a Chicago food that he had when he came to visit before we went to Better.
Yeah. The hot dogs. Chicago hot dogs.
Sounds good.
Hot
dogs.
I like hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know nothing.
Tube steak.
Hot dogs, Italian beefs, ribs. They got it all.
No, but I understood that you were talking about. Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
we're going to have some of
that. Okay, I'll wait for the link then, guys.
Yeah, you betcha. Also, just thanks everyone out there in the chat over on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. If you did, please consider hitting the like button. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, no Christmas card for you. So hit the subscribe button.
What are you doing? Push the button.
Push that button. We're trying to get. I'm almost at 3,400 subscribers, and I can't believe it.
I think
So-
we can get to 5K by the end of the year.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
I think we can hit
That's
5K.
a good goal.
Also, I'm trying to get to go live on TikTok, guys. So if you aren't following me on TikTok, give me a follow there too, so we can air this there as well.
What's your TikTok name?
604 Atheist.
There you
At
go.
604 Atheist. There you go. It's pretty much that everywhere. So yeah. We have some compliments already. Great guest, Dr. T. So you got some fans already, Dr. T. Also, thanks to our amazing patrons and our members. You can now be a member of the show if you want to hit the join button down below. It's some nominal fee, I think, and you get to play with some cool little emojis and stuff like that and whatnot. And you get to have an extra little thing if you don't have a wrench, because then you can also have another little symbol. I don't know what the hell they are all about. I just do the show.
We'll revisit them, see if we can switch it up and give them something cool. Maybe an otter. Maybe we'll give them an otter.
Oh yeah, we got to do an otter one. Comfort otters.
Like if you join, then you get to have an otter emote next to your name. It's, instead of like the green check or star, you get a little otter.
Yeah, well, something. Anyways, yeah, so that's it, guys. If you are interested in the after party, you just want to hang out in the chat, there's a link to it down below. If you want to join us for the after party, then let myself or Mikey know through the usual routine of sending messages and stuff on the interwebs. You know what I mean? But until then, guys, like I always say at the end of the interviews, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.